hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon platform, welcome. And believe me when I say you will be seeing a whole lot of me. So if you have not done so already, make sure you guys hit that follow button here on Amazon. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the books by our next guest. We're excited to welcome back award-winning master event planner, best-selling author, entrepreneur, Melissa Banks is back with us. She's going to talk to us about a very busy summer that she has coming up, a brand new release that she's released here on Amazon this week. That's her Dream by Design Dream Journal. It's out now. We have it featured there in the carousel, but also some of the great things that's happening, especially around this box you guys can see here as well. We also want to welcome those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, as well as on Instagram. Glad you all could be with us. Hello to you, Felicia Brookins, over there on IG. We see you, Texas Boy 0308. Hello to you. Felicia calls you the beautiful and talented Miss Banks. Melissa Banks, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you for having me, Cyrus. It's always exciting to talk to you, of course.
Well, it's exciting to talk to you, and it's an exciting season for you. I mean, it's an exciting week. You have the new book that just came out. For those who haven't seen it, I was just telling Melissa, mine is scheduled to come in today. But if you have not seen it, this is the book we're talking about, the Dream by Design Dream Journal. You guys can see it there. But Melissa, you also have the reintroduction and anniversary of your dream boxes. I'm taking this one to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with me this week. And then you have your dream lives that you're doing. Talk to us about how you're feeling about everything that's happening right now.
You know, I am really excited and a little emotional. You know, when you think about your dreams and you think about where things started, and then you see things become to happen when you don't quit and just keep going, you see things come to happen. It's exciting. So I was super excited for the Dream Journal to come out this week and be able to be a part of the Dream Box, because the Dream Journal was something that was in my heart so long ago, and to see it actually happening is just beyond what I could have imagined. I mean, I'm super excited.
Felicia says that the necklace is signature Melissa. That is that is so true. So, Melissa, you know, but your journey here, I think, is encouraging for a lot of people, right? Because a lot of times, even if we had just said 5 years ago, because so much that's happening for you right now wasn't even in the cards for you 5 years ago. Talk to us about that. Take us back to 2019. What has it been like for you to think about all you've been able to do in that short amount of time?
Oh, wow. Thank you for this question, because I've been just thinking about that all week, actually. The change in my business, in my dreams, in my thoughts. I mean, 2019 and going into early 2020 was exciting times. And, you know, we launched our first women's conference. It was so successful. We were fired up and just really looking forward to a great year in the event industry. And then March of 2020 happened and everything changed. I mean, not just the way we do business, the way we think about business, who our customers are, our everything changed. And it's been in a cycle of change and experiencing things that I didn't even know to dream since then. And it's been an amazing journey, actually. And it's things that, Cyrus, I never thought I'd be sitting up on a show doing an interview with you. I did my very first radio interview, my very first interview ever, actually, was on your radio show. And that's still just amazing to me. And when I look back, I think, this is what happens when you keep believing, you keep having faith, and you keep going. Because literally in March of 2020, I thought that was it. You know, everything changed. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I did feel that my dream had died when that happened, because I didn't know what to do. But thank God Almighty, He had a plan. So that plan it's been evolving, and it keeps evolving. You just have to keep going.
Yeah, hello to you, Kevin Webb Arts. Good to see you over there on the IG side. Glad you could be able to be with us. And Melissa, I want to stay with that for a second, because it really does tie into everything we're talking about that's happening for you literally this week. Because 5 years ago, when I was first being introduced to Melissa, even if we look at that, not only are you talking about your first conference, you hadn't written a book, you didn't have a podcast, you definitely weren't doing lives on Facebook. You know, And so, what has that been like for you to see? Because it's interesting to hear you say you thought it was over, but really it was a brand new beginning. Talk to us about that. What has it like for you to become a best-selling author? You've been able to do virtual events. So, expanding on your event planning business, you of course have seen the success of these dream boxes, getting them in the hands of celebrities around the country. Talk to us about what that's been like for
You know, I think you've heard me say this before, that God can dream for you way bigger than you can dream for yourself.
you.
Because
Right.
my name on the front of a book, one book, is beyond what I could have dreamed for myself. Now to see my name on 4 books is absolutely, um, shows what believing means. You know, believing beyond what you can see, believing, because yes, I thought it was the over, but that was so powerful that what you just said, it really wasn't over. It was the new beginning of something new. And I think, Cyrus, that happens to us when it doesn't feel good, when something really bad, because that was a really bad time, happens. We start thinking the end. And it goes back to your thinking. If your thinking becomes, this is the beginning, because I easily could have just went got a job when that happened. I could have just gave up on it all instead of being willing to pivot and follow God's lead, because it definitely was not mine. I definitely wouldn't have thought of that I would be an author. I never thought that I would be able to influence other women. Women can hear my voice and begin to believe in themselves. I meet women that I don't know all the time that follow me and say, it was because of something you said that I kept going in my business. The dream box itself, that's not something I thought of. That's not something I had been planning to do, but it's been all over the world and it's impacting people, and I'm excited to bring it back. But it's all about continuing to believe in yourself and continuing to move. You know, someone said to me years ago, if you just keep moving, if you just keep moving, you don't know what God has in store. But when you stop and lean into the negative thing that has happened, that's when it dies.
So true. Such a great point. And I want to say, as I mentioned, I'm taking this box with me to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm going to be covering the Be in the Biz Summit that's taking place. My very first trip to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Excited about that. Going to be interviewing some of the presenters, and it's all about entertainment, creatives coming together, making impact. So I'm excited about being able to share this there. So let's talk about the new book. I'm going to highlight it in the carousel again for our audience on Amazon, Melissa. That is the Dream by Design Dream Journal. Now, they also will see in the carousel there the Dream by Design Inspirational Journal. What is the difference between the Inspirational Journal and the Dream Journal?
Okay, let me just start with the inspirational journal because it's been out for a while. In the inspirational journal, we're giving you some prompts, daily prompts that you can read and can keep you on track. You know, when things are happening and you forget and you get lost in the stuff that's happening, those prompts get you back on track. Those prompts inspire you, encourage you, remind you of who you are and what you're doing. That's what those prompts are for. But the prompts also encourages you to set goals and and it has a place where you can write those goals and how you're going to achieve them. So the inspirational journal is there to inspire you. It's also there to get you on track, on focus to what your dreams and goals are. That's the inspirational journal. The dream journal, and I'm so excited and feeling all kinds of emotions about the dream journal because I believe that journaling was one of the things that helped me in my healing. Going through a really dark season for me, I picked up a book. What started the journaling was I picked up a book called Write It Down and Make It Happen. I don't remember who the author is, but when I picked up that book, that led me to journaling. And when I began journaling, even though it was a really dark season, I still had my dream in my heart. And I started writing down those thoughts, not just not the good stuff, because there wasn't a whole lot of good stuff at the beginning, but it was, how am I feeling right now today? How do I feel? What are my dreams and goals? And it kept evolving. So I have stacks and stacks of those books dating back to 2001. But today, when I pick up one and just read a passage that I wrote, it goes straight to my heart and to my stomach because I can hear it in my voice. It can inspire me. It's for how far I've come. And it can remind me of some of the dreams that I had at that time that I let go. But it also reminds me how scared I was, that I was still moving in the middle of so many fears. So the dream journal coming out will just allow people to just write, just get in those thoughts that's in your gut, in your heart that you can't say out loud. but you can write them down. They're just for you. And I'm super excited that that's coming, because down the road, you're going to go back to that journal and it's going to remind you of where you were and how far you've come.
Melissa knows I'm full of surprises. She might argue I'm full of other stuff, but this is a family-friendly show, so I will leave it at surprises. And one of the things that that Melissa shared on Facebook is this, talking about her journals. She shared this on May the 21st, and this was a page from her journal from January 12th, 2002. Talk to us about this, Melissa. What was it like for you to come back to this and to think about the questions you had about yourself and where you are today?
Wow. So I didn't know you were bringing this to the show today, but let me just tell you, when I read that, I read it again. I said things like, "Am I dreaming too big?" I mean, I was facing so many fears at that time, but I had that dream. And when I read each one of those questions, it was just so it was overwhelming for a moment to see that person, that Melissa, and on January 12th, all those fears, just simply sitting down and listing all the things that I was afraid of. And then to see the Melissa now, that I do dream big and bigger and bigger, that my fears, another thing that this showed me, Cyrus, I acknowledged those fears,
Mhm.
but the fear didn't stop me from continuing to move. And that's where I want people to get. I was afraid. I was not in a good place. And you can read that from that excerpt. I was definitely scared, but I
Yeah.
still had that dream. I still had that dream in my gut. And it
I
was
want
just,
to I want to share three things from here because I think this is something that a lot of people can relate to. And this is what Melissa wrote, number three. What if my work is not good enough?
mm,
And then she wrote number five, am I smart enough? And then I thought it was really interesting, number seven, what makes me think I can do this?
oh,
I,
wow.
I want to talk about that, Melissa, because I think there are a lot of people who can relate to that. Almost the who do you think you are? And
Mm.
we hear it from ourselves, but we also hear, unfortunately, from other people. What has it been like for you to answer that question? That are you good enough?
You know, whew, that question comes up in my head when I'm having a hard time. It comes up in my head even today when things don't work out like I thought they should. But the biggest thing, Cyrus, it will come up not for me today, but it will come up when you're looking at what someone else is doing and you're thinking that what you're doing is not good enough. That's why it's so important. I don't know if you ever heard me talk about affirmations and speaking to yourself. See, in that season, I didn't know what affirmations was. That wasn't something that I knew to do when I was thinking those thoughts. And because I believe everything thought starts in the mind. But today is what you pour into you that is so powerful, because that one question will stop you from getting out of bed. Am I good enough? And smart enough. I said, am I smart enough? How
Yeah.
many times have you questioned whether you know what you're talking about? Why would anybody listen to you? This takes special people to have a business. Why do I think I can have one? When you replace those questions in today's time, I can replace those questions with positive affirmations, and that's how you grow, and that's how you heal. And I will say this, and of course, I didn't know that at the time. I was in a growing process, but how powerful is it to even acknowledge those thoughts? Because if you what you can't acknowledge, you can't grow from, right? But how powerful is it to, in that middle of that situation, that I could even say that? And when I read it today, I have to remind myself again, because those thoughts they don't go away forever. You have to continually work on yourself, because even today some of those thoughts will come to my mind, and I have to work through them and keep moving.
Yeah. I think that's the great thing about living, right? Melissa, we never really graduate from anything.
Mm-mm.
A lot of us repeating the same life
Yeah,
classes, and it comes up in different ways. For some people, it's grief. For
yeah,
some people, it is, mourning the end of a friendship or a relationship, right? For other people, it's what do you do when your job situation changes. So I think there's always that. If I want to read what Felicia says, Melissa lives out loud the things she writes about. Congratulations on both journals. I love journaling therapy. She says 3, 5 and are me. 7 makes me cry because I've been there, and sometimes I have to forcefully tell myself not to think that. I remind
Mhm.
myself nothing is too big for a big God. I
Mm,
think that is such a great thing. So thank
powerful.
you, Felicia, for telling me about how great I was for bringing that up. So I want to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. We also are simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram. We have the one and only the Melissa Banks joining us today. We're talking with her about her brand new book that just released this week. You guys can go ahead and get your copy of it here on Amazon. The Dream by Design Dream Journal. She was just telling us about it. I have it highlighted in the carousel. But Melissa, another book you released this year, I think that is interesting, and that is your book that you were able to do about event planning. Talk to us about that.
Event planning, my event planning career has evolved so much over the years, over 25 years. And this was the first time that I took some of those ideas, some of the things that I've learned, and some of the questions I've been hearing from people, and then just kind of put it together in a small, not overwhelming place so that people can understand why you need an event planner. Even if you're great at what you do, even if you can plan yourself, why it would benefit you and your event if you hired an event planner. So it was really a full circle for me to use some of my things that I've learned and then pour back into other people. And it's who would have thought it would have been the bestseller? I wouldn't have. I didn't dream that. So that was absolutely amazing that it became a bestseller. And I believe that when you read that book and look at just those 7 things, it's very simple, just those 7 things, and you'll see why you can benefit from hiring an event planner. I believe an event planner enhances the experience for you. I believe that in my heart. And it makes you it allows you to be a guest at your own event.
Love that. Love that. Now, another thing that you're doing is stepping outside your comfort zone. You're starting these live events. You're having your second one coming up this week. First of all, talk to us about the dream parties, how that came about, and what people can expect.
Well, talk about outside my comfort zone. You know me in live, so I'm not really big and comfortable in that space.
Really?
Yeah. So when the idea was suggested that we take the dream parties live, we've been doing dream parties since the jury launched 7 years ago. We just celebrated 7 years of during the jury boutique. So we were doing physical live parties. And then as time progressed, we started doing some live events where people can come in and actually shop and have a good time. And then it was suggested, why don't you do those on live? That thought never had occurred to me. That's why you have to have the right people in your space. You have to be talking to the right people so they can think for you, because that never occurred to me. So that's what we're doing. We're showcasing the jury on live. It's just a 30-minute live, so it's not a lot of your time. And Cyrus, one of the things we're doing we only did one. This is our second one. The first one we showcased necklaces, and that was our theme for the night. And this time we're showcasing earrings. It's going to be all about earrings. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we offering discounts while you watch us live. Jump over to the website where you see everything, all the jewelry, the necklaces, bracelets, earrings. You can shop there and save money while you're live. So it's just lots of fun. And you get your amazing pearls, which of course, I believe every woman needs pearls.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So that's going to be coming up. We're going to let Melissa give all the details about that. So another thing we have to mention, Melissa, before we let you go, is the next season of your own podcast, Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. Talk to us about that. What it's been like for you to see that show grow and what we can expect from this season.
Can you believe this is our 4th season? The Dream by Design with Melissa Banks podcast is just something else that God put there. I didn't dream it up. He put it there and put it in place. And it's a passion of mine because what it does is it's a platform for women. It's women pouring into women, which of course, I believe that when that happens, we all win. So that's what the platform is about. These women are sharing their stories. They're sharing their platforms with us. They're sharing their products when they have books and what led them, what their journey was to that. So it's just a place where women can just inspire from their journey, the struggles and their successes. So that season starts in September, and we're looking now for spots on that show.
Okay. Melissa, I appreciate you so much, and I give you a hard time, rightly so, because
Rightly so.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, somebody has to do it, and I've taken on that heavy burden of of doing it. But Melissa, would you like to hear some news?
Of course, I always like to hear news.
Your new book is a top 40 bestseller on Amazon.
Yay! Thank you for sharing it. Wow. Oh my.
Melissa's newest book is number 40 right now, which makes it a top 100 bestseller right now, and Amazon hot new releases for new releases in journal writing and self help. So this is when you have an experienced host, Melissa, so we're able to get this information together.
Yay!
So
Thank you.
congratulations to Melissa on her book being a top 40. We know it will only continue to rise. You guys can get yours right now on Amazon. Melissa's been posting about it on her page. So Melissa, I wanted to share that news with you. I thought you would
Thank you.
appreciate that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
And,
Thank you so
and
much.
plus, now I have the footage of the live reaction that I can then share as a reel.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
Jesus Black Man says congratulations to you. Jesus Black Man says you're being interviewed by the great one. Appreciate that, Jesus Black Man 23. Appreciate that. But congratulations, Melissa, on that. Well deserved, and we know we'll only continue to climb. Let them know how to stay connected with you, how they can join the Dream Party this week, and also how they can get with you about the new season of the podcast.
Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that with me at this very moment. I'm super excited. Okay, so let me get on track. Okay, the Dream Party is this Friday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time on Facebook. It's only 30 minutes. You get to shop, save 50% while you're shopping. The code is released on the show, and we're just going to have some fun, so please join us. The Dream by Design podcast, we are ready to launch our season 4. You can just go to themelissabanks.com and click on podcast. It's right there. You can see it. In fact, when you go to themelissabanks.com, you see every single thing that we do. You see our books. You see the podcast. You can even listen to some previous shows if you want to just be inspired and kind of see what the platform is like. There's a link right there. And, of course, you can link right to our Facebook page, both The Melissa Banks and our business page. Everything is right there in that one spot, and it's themelissabanks.com.
All right, Melissa, congratulations to you again. When I saw that this morning, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to tell her till we do the interview, because I'm just that kind of person.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
That was priceless.
Yeah, excited to see what's next and looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, but today was even more. It was just amazing.
Well, thank you. Glad to hear that. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.